Assisted Lab, Configuring Group Policy Objects. Scenario: one of the most important post-installation tasks is to ensure that security settings meet the requirements of the server role. In a Windows domain environment, this is achieved by configuring Group Policy Objects, GPOs. To complete this lab, add important security settings to the GPO that governs server policy. Objectives: this activity is designed to test your understanding of and ability to apply content examples in the following CompTIA server plus objective. 3.5 Given a scenario, apply server hardening methods. 0% tasks complete. Next, review existing GPOs. Review existing GPOs. To complete this task, review the existing GPO design and consider how it could be improved. Expand forest domains corp.515support.com group policy objects. This node contains all the GPOs that have been created so far. The default policies are created with the domain. It is best not to add policies to these. The default domain GPO can be used to customize password policy. In the navigation pane, select the Servers node. Servers is an organizational unit and as an OU can have specific GPOs attached to it. The main panel shows that the 515 support local servers admin policy is linked to this OU. Note that this is a link to the GPO stored in the Group Policy Objects folder. The same GPO can be linked to multiple OUs. Optionally, open Windows Administrative Tools Active Directory users and computers to review the types of containers that are present. Note that there are no nodes for users or computers. These containers are the default location for new objects, but they are not OUs and so cannot be targeted by specific GPOs, only by GPOs linked at domain level. Effective GPO design starts with an OU design that reflects security and organizational boundaries. Objects that have similar policy requirements should be placed in the same OU. In the main pane, select the Group Policy Inheritance tab. This shows all the GPOs that apply to the server's OU and how precedence will be enforced if there are conflicting settings. In a complex environment, you can nest OUs and inherit policies from parent GPOs. In the navigation pane, select 515 Support Domain Policy. If a notification that this is a link is displayed, select OK. Notice that this GPO is linked directly to the domain and so will affect all account objects. It is usually considered better practice to link GPOs to OUs. With 515 Support Domain Policy still selected in the navigation pane, in the main pane, select the Settings tab. Note that this GPO contains both computer and user settings. This is often considered to be bad practice. Separating settings that affect user accounts from settings that apply to computer accounts makes GPOs easier to link and maintain. Select the Show All link and browse the policy settings. Select the Show All link and browse the policy settings. This GPO applies dozens of settings across different classes of configuration options, from security to desktop customization. This is a monolithic design. The main drawback is that it is hard to understand the purpose and effect of the GPO. This drawback could have been mitigated by adding descriptive comments. The contrasting functional approach, setting fewer policies within the same configuration context per GPO, improves manageability. However, each GPO linked to an account increases processing effort at startup. Also, managing hundreds or thousands of separate GPOs presents its own challenges. You need to strike a balance between these factors in developing your own policy design. How many custom GPOs are present? 0. 1. 2. 3. Correct. 23% tasks complete. Previous next, create server security GPO. Create server security GPO. Tidying up the existing policy design will have to be a project for another, longer day. but you do urgently need to apply some important policies to better secure the servers and cannot be sure that these policies are enforced by other GPOs. Create a new GPO and link it to the server's container and then add a comment to explain the purpose of the policy. Right-click the server's OU and select Create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Enable GPO policies. The next challenge is to implement the whatever settings we require. As already noted, policies can apply to computer accounts or user accounts. This GPO will configure only computer settings. Under Computer Configuration, there are two different nodes. Policies cannot be modified by the user. Preferences set default values at startup, but can be modified by the user if they have sufficient permissions. Under the Policies node, Software Settings is used to deploy apps. Most policies are configured under Windows Settings or administrative templates. Windows Settings is mostly used to configure security policies or run scripts at startup/shutdown or logon/logoff for users. Administrative templates provide an interface for enforcing Windows registry keys and values. Many templates are supplied by Microsoft. Third-party vendors also develop templates to facilitate control of their software in enterprise networks. To complete this task, configure policies in this GPO to achieve the following goals. Disable the default local guest and administrator accounts. Prevent the computer from caching vulnerable LM hashes. Require NTLM-v2 authentication level. Prevent access to removable disks. Prevent use of the highly vulnerable SMBv1 server protocol. Test GPO settings. Verify that the GPO is being applied to the MS-10 server. In the output, verify that the guest account is disabled, that its enabled property is set to false. Enabled account named admin where the SID ends in 500. This SID signifies the default administrator account. The policy has not disabled it because it was renamed. 97% tasks complete. Previous next, Review Lab. Review Lab. Answer the following comprehensive questions to ensure that you recognize the importance of the activity steps and the uses for the information you have learned. What general type of hardening was achieved through the policies applied? Select 2. Disable unneeded services, roles, or features. Disable unneeded physical ports, devices, or functions. Install latest patches. Close unneeded network ports. Install only required software. Correct. What was deficient about the existing policy design? Select 2. Naming scheme not well structured. Policy objects containing computer and user settings from multiple policy areas. Large number of policy objects reducing performance. Over lengthy comments attached to each policy. Organizational units not reflecting security boundaries. Correct. Which node in Group Policy Editor is used to directly add or update a registry key? Preferences. Administrative templates. Software settings. Security options. Correct. 100% tasks complete. Previous next, grade lab. Grade lab. That concludes this lab. Please ensure you end it properly rather than just closing the browser window. Once you select Submit, you will not be able to return to this lab instance. If you want to repeat the lab, you can launch a new instance from your lab portal. Check all the step boxes above to mark all tasks as complete and make sure you have submitted responses to all the activities. Select Submit below to grade the lab. 100% tasks complete. Previous submit.